Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining, and we're going to be doing crypto in the news with Archangel Alts. Thank you so much for joining us, and please do subscribe to us on YouTube and ring the bell so that you will get all the new videos as they come out. And come join us at archangelalts.com, where we're going to be allowing people to always be able to join for free. We'll have our news there, our streams will be there, we'll do Q&A, but there's also going to be, please go ahead and consider joining the paid group, where we will be doing the more advanced teaching for everything, and the live trades will eventually mostly be there. We'll still have some free live trading streams so that everybody can be a part of those. We want everybody to be a part of those, but also understand that we are working towards this being a full-time thing. So we need to get you guys signed up, and we will be doing long live trading sessions where we teach you very detailed information from our playbook, all of our strategies, side strategies, main strategies. We'll teach you the rule of fifths and the principle of thirds, go through how all this stuff works, how we can see stuff together on the incredible Binance Exchange. And you see our references in there to sign up for Binance and start trading. It takes literally no time at all, and it doesn't cost anything until you deposit your first coins and go into trading. So none of the stuff on the screen is our recommendation here. We're pulling from some really great different sources for some news that we think is very interesting. And I want to tell you, in the news today, I'm kind of focusing around the very broad topic that I think on some levels ties everything together. But mainly what that topic is just honesty and transparency in the actual philosophy of the different teams, the different projects, the different ICOs, the different coin offerings, the groups that are mining them, the groups that are developing them, the people that represent the projects at conferences. So just kind of honesty in the crypto world, because we're looking to define and create something new and different that's better than what's been there before. So just kind of looking through here, thank you so much to the Daily Huddle and to Crypto Potato and to Hacker Noon. Really brilliant group there. An interruption? I know, well, I'm not ready to make it official right now. I'm trying to do a show, okay? ambcrypto.com, crypto news, and that is all those topics. So I'm going to start right here with what Google's recent move means for crypto. Thank you, Simon Chandler. And these opinions may not necessarily be our own, but we're going to provide commentary on just what my thoughts are on stuff. These are not my recommendations over here, so don't worry about that stuff. Anyone can look for patterns on the blockchains of 8 major cryptocurrencies. The move shows that suspicion towards blockchain has generally softened. We also have to be really careful when we build dependencies to large data collecting entities. Okay, so right away, we're talking about a huge move is going to be the deciphering of information, not just being able to look at information on the blockchain. People may not realize that ledger, the whole point of all this stuff is that you can go to different websites and actually see all these different transactions taking place. You may not know exactly who belongs to one end of the buy or sell, or whose wallets, and you may not have access to all the things that are happening as far as what the smart contracts are, or what kind of agreements are tied into those buys and sells. And I want to make sure that I'm not muted. Good. So, what does that say to you as far as, we're bringing transparency, but guys, it's Google. So Google is like all over wanting to buy and sell information and profit from it, while telling us that we should be cautious in doing so. So Google's opening up crypto, just as the Californian search giant transformed the early internet in the late 90s from something strange and sprawling into something you could navigate at the click of a few buttons. I remember the day that it went on the stock exchange. That would have been a good day to have a few $1,000s on. On February 5th, it launched a range of new search tools as part of its BigQuery public datasets program. Okay, so bottom line, now you can search blockchains at the most basic level. What Google has made available to developers and to the general public are data sets covering the entire transaction history of 8 of some major cryptocurrencies. These are Bitcoin Cash, Dash, Zcash, Litecoin, Dogecoin, and Ethereum Classic, as well as Bitcoin and Ethereum. I would have started with this list. But that's interesting, Bitcoin Cash, so I'm wondering if that means that they're just covering ABC and not the SV split. Interesting. for which the datasets were released on the BigQuery platform last year. Yet, in addition to simply making the transaction histories of the above 8 searchable, Google's new release also lets users take advantage of blockchain ETL, extract, transform, load, a new tool built largely by independent developer. As stated above, this lets users analyze transaction patterns and the relationship between addresses. And while this might not sound especially monumental, yes, it does. The ability to define patterns means that you can identify pretty much any kind of crypto-related behavior. So could governments. So could businesses looking to track different trends. So could whales looking to track different trends and decide where the real money and the real trends are. So it's a really, really, really big deal. Transparency, good, but you have to realize that what's good for us is 10 times better good for the bad guys, or just the powerful. Not necessarily bad, but people that are going to be the next ones making decisions, centralized decisions for you and I. Brief pause. So look for things like catchphrases, inequality of wealth distribution. Yes. So those are the kind of things that they're looking for, guys. Wider significance. Tech giants have long realized the potential blockchain tech. Really, this is the year for people giving out their quotes about blockchain and the benefits of blockchain and the future of blockchain and blockchain chain. Yes, it's been there for a while. The risk of centralization, or at least an overdependence on a centralized organization, is something that other commentators warn against, myself included, with crypto expert and B9 Lab founder Xavier Lepretre, pointing out in conclusion that Google's involvement will be a double-edged sword. Well, yeah, didn't take much to figure that one out, huh? Okie doke, so moving and on. What is Ethereum 2.0? And by the way, interested to stir up these topics, so interested in what you guys think about this stuff, you know? What is Ethereum 2.0? We reveal its unclear, uncertain, yet promising future. And so this was last updated on the 15th. This is the first that I'm following this new of information. And I hear some things are popping in a good way, so I'm actually looking forward to our live trading. I'm not going to switch everything now. I'm going to follow through with this. So for the past several months, ETH 2.0 has been a hot topic. People are patiently waiting to see how the second most popular cryptocurrency can showcase its new and improved speed, scalability, and security features through a series of updates. I didn't hear cheap gas, so we'll see. The updates are aimed at addressing current scaling, mining, and consensual protocol and security issues, include moving from proof of work to proof of stake. That's a big move. People have very strong opinions about that. Solutions like Beacon Chain, Casper, FFG, Sharding, EWASM, Plasma, Rudin, and perhaps most anticipated Serenity. Serenity is supposed to be an all-in-one solution to fix the various problems highlighted by Ethereum 1.0. Now, does any of that go back to Ethereum Classic? Somebody else out there might know more than I do. Binance Joyzy? Okay. So, breakdown of Ethereum 2.0 solutions. Proof of stake. Beacon and Casper are the two POS, which sometimes stands for something other than piece of stake. We won't go over that. Solutions that aim to improve how new Ethereum coins are mined and how transactions are validated. In proof of stake, there's no mining, which means there is no block reward. The block creators are called forgers instead of miners. In, I guess, proof of work, they're called miners. They are only being incentivized with transaction fees. The forgers of the next block are elected through a random procedure according to the forger stake, amount of coins the forger stakes, and age. Which is actually hilarious because if you think about, any platform that can actually really help you get in and out of different coins right then at the rate that you want without having to wait for transactions, it's all very quick. It's worth a very, very, very small transaction fee. And then for people that allow their computers to be used in a network, nodes and sectors and blocks and chains, doing proof of stake, it certainly makes sense that pays for their electricity and their time and use of equipment, incentivizing the growth of whatever that platform is, in this case, Ethereum. So I think all of those things are good ideas. The funny thing is that who's to stop the different layers of transactional decisions that these people make as this goes forward? And that ends up being the same issue as taxes, does it not? adding fees on top of things. That's exactly what you're getting taxed for the transaction. You're getting taxed for the use of the facility, the features, and it goes on and on and on. So like in trading, got 0.1 maker taker fee, which is as cheap as I've seen. That's on Binance. Super fantastic. Sign up using our reference in the video. You go. But that's on top of, if I want to withdraw or deposit, you're going to have the normal, fees that are associated with that coin. Binance doesn't really make a heck of a lot from that side of things. And they take their billions and reinvest into a lot of things that are good for the community overall. But, the point being that, bureaucracy and centralization can come right here, right now, just as easy. And the people that developed it are about as central as it gets. I mean, can you imagine if, we reached a time, just an imaginary parallel version of all this stuff where the only people that could handle money and videos or TV and music and everything else being able to transcribe information back and forth were the Fortran developers, software coders. And literally anybody that knew DOS, anybody that knew C, C++, anybody that knew any of the new, Juice protocol and all these different things, anybody that, could do anything else didn't matter. That's about as centralized as I can think of. And we just pray that it was just buying, mainframes and pocket protectors would do the trick. But that would be a lot of centralized power for people that have a very specific skill. Well, we're kind of in the same geek world in a good way with the geniuses that understand how to make and integrate these different networks. But they are a little bit light on the global politics and global economics, understanding what the impact, the actual impact, not what their hopeful, determined plans are, but the way that this works when you have good people benefiting and bad people benefiting. And I'm not just talking about people that hack. Hacking is expected. People that scamming is expected. That'll become a bigger problem. The problem with it, in my opinion, is that it's going to be the Coinbases and Geminis and the new ETFs and stuff that attempt to try to make everybody feel all warm and cozy and safe, when it really should be about choosing a good password and not giving it to anybody. Don't click on any links. Do your own direct link into any wallet. Secure your private keys, or have a planned entrance and exit for any exchange work that you're doing. An example right now is that you should have had the foresight to know that at some point Cryptopia would run into what they're dealing with right now because of money that was being stolen from there. They have so many hundreds of complete and total loser coins. Some folks call it poop coin. I call it a loser coin. Anyway, so it really gets into all this kind of stuff. Who gets paid? How do they get paid? The bureaucracy of layering something on top of something on top of something else, and then the fact that the governments want their share and they want you to be more and more transparent, and that's why Google is going to help them to see the patterns and eventually be able to attach that to IPs, or even just the behavior of different users. Of course this is going to happen that way. Of course it is. So this is really, really interesting. Sharding is the process where the entire state of the network is split into a number of partitions called shards that contain their own independent piece of state of transaction history. This addresses issues of scalability and transaction speed and stops one app from slowing down the network. EWASM allows code to execute faster by expanding the code options and capabilities for the Ethereum virtual machine. Plasma is an extra layer that sits on top of the network to handle massive amounts of transactions. It's basically Ethereum's version of Bitcoin's Lightning Network. And how is that going? Do we know how that's going for Bitcoin? I hear a lot of concerns still about the 1 megabyte versus the 360K thing. And is the Lightning Network having to shift things over to a paid speed option, whether that really works well? Raiden, like Plasma, is categorized as an off-chain scaling solution and therefore can also be compared to the Lightning Network. That's what I'm talking about, off-chain. Thank you very much. Rather than processing the transactions on the main blockchain, Raiden uses state channel technology to move transactions off-chain and open a separate payment channel. We can see that the Ethereum development community clearly has their work cut out for them to bring these upgrades to life. However, according to a recent report published by Matt Slipper in Sui of Kyokan, a blockchain native software consultancy, based in the Bay Area, things don't seem to be running very smoothly behind the scenes. Well, I mean, I can imagine, it's not the easiest thing to do in the world. The main takeaways from the lengthy document are that I was just thinking how horrible it would be if this was muted and how long. Ethereum 2.0 has no person in charge of orchestrating the rollout. Implementation has been stalled. Miscommunication. People outside R&D are out of the loop. Concerned there's a funding shortage. My goodness, just buy some Ethereum. Need for clarity. Ethereum 2.0 won't be transformational for smart contracts until cross-shard communication is live. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So lots of technical stuff in here. Really, really, really interesting. Ultimately, the viability of the altcoin market, Archangel altcoin market, may very well depend on Ethereum 2.0's ability to succeed. Yeah, main thing that I see this just, purely from a trader, not traitor. I love the support of the good ideas going on here. But all of those ERC20 coins have to be safe, and smart contracts have to be built in and not go anywhere and not get messed up. The end. Binance kicks another 5 altcoins out. Prices crash. So I already covered this from our perspective, from the trading perspective, and very fortunately, out of 2 sets of processes, one on the client, one on the browser, that I like to work with independently from each other. We had 1 position in mod, and we took a very small loss, not a big deal. At Binance, we periodically do this stuff, commitment to team. These are the things that they look for in whether it's a good project. I have recommended, and people on Twitter now agree with me, it seems. I have absolutely no idea how to do Twitter, but I seem like I'm doing something right, so I tweet. It's true. But the way to do this, not to just make an announcement and say, hey, we're delisting these, and oh my gosh, there goes your money if you have any. They should do a 3-month transparent public process where they have a page, and in the news they put out saying, month 1 we have, flagged this group of coins to get in touch with us, tell us where they stand and what their plans are, and to clarify their goals and show evidence of, being on the up and up and stuff. And if they really don't respond, they don't log in and respond to those things, then you have a pretty long time to decide whether you want to sell it off. Go ahead and take a loss and reduce your risk. So I don't think that traders on the platform should pay for having absolutely no way to follow what's happening with the different projects and whether, get inside the mind of Binance to know where they draw the line of whether something is good or not. So saw the same price decrease of it was 38%, and then it's negative 17 on top of that. Project's GitHub has also not seen much action lately, as the last change was made back in April 2018, so it is quite obvious that they are not actively developing it. Well, now you're going to actively lose what's left of it. And another thing that's a really big deal is that, at least for mod, Binance was like 90% of its activity. So Whale Panda called the project a Ponzi scheme a 1.5 years ago on Twitter, and in November it was uncovered that the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission was investigating SALT. That's the main thing right there. And that's what concerns me, is that, they cannot make a wide sweeping thing against ERC20s on a whole, or we'd be in real trouble. And somebody like Binance would probably go the way of, was it Bitfinex or Bitrex that closed out US altogether? They said, we're going to keep the coins but lose the high maintenance customers. So, no thank you. All right, so not worth its weight in salt. Salt isn't. Ranked 182 by market cap. Decrease of 19%. Because Binance made it. Okay, so same situation for mod, so they're shaking them loose. So it's the Oyster Pearl type vulnerability that made them concerned about that. Wings, I really used to make some money on them. So Binance made up 86% of its liquidity. The project is a so-called decentralized crowdfunding platform based on Ethereum blockchain. There have been no clear-cut cases of foul play. It also seems to fail in more general terms when it comes to Binance's criteria. What are those general terms? Yeah, so we were around for the last time, and we only had 1 coin. We had actually traded and profited from one of the 4 coins just before this happened, and we only had 1 that we were holding. We lost about $40, and we made it up the same day, so we were pretty happy about that. So I don't like losing a day to anything. So do this very rarely and we'll be fine. But also, I hope that they're trimming the hedges and ICOs are paying attention. One of the plans for Archangel Alts, when we start building a broader base and hopefully all roads start, intertwining with us, they don't all have to lead to us. But we have an intention from, our strong marketing background side of things to help ICOs do what they're not very good at, which is the PR, promotions, marketing, and actual sales. Reach out to the people that are going to be trading you on the exchanges. Reach out to people that might actually be interested in your project and not to just stumble into them, but actually, do effective marketing. And since there are millions of dollars rolling around with these and they're doing angel investment rounds and stuff, it's important for them to reach out and let people know that they're serious if they are. So that's one of the things that we're hoping to actually improve the entire market and mass adoption by helping projects reach their base so that people trust them and show them how to keep updated. You do actually have to communicate with people. Don't spam them with stuff. Just show that you're a real project and we'll help you out. So that's something that we're hoping to do. One of the reasons that we're stretching ourselves a little thin from the actual just continuous below the radar trading process that we have got a 98.7% accuracy on with getting closer to 18,000, possibly 19,000 trades, buy-ins and sells. I'm doing a lot of work. Wow. Sleep is for weaker people like myself. I love sleep. I want more. All right. Bitcoin developer Jimmy Song lists 3 reasons why Bitcoin BSV is a scam. Okay. Here's one of the things about Bitcoin SV. It's Bitcoin Cash SV. It's Bitcoin Cash Satoshi's vision. BSV in itself is absolutely misleading, and I'm not anti them. I actually was one of the few people that was just based on the actual race with who's going to win Bitcoin Cash. There, I had already decided it was going to be ABC. But Craig Wright, he may not be an honest person. I really don't know, but you definitely can't say he's not a smart person. The way that he talks about the metanet and the future of the internet is exactly on topic with the direction of things. I don't know if he's a scammer. I'm pretty sure he's not Satoshi. He may have been saying it tongue-in-cheek to say, I am the real Satoshi, meaning that compared to ABC and compared to the current group working Bitcoin, I'm the real deal. I don't know. But I saw this, and, as I'm looking at, 5 coins getting delisted because they're not staying on the up and up, and looking at the future of Ethereum, and some people are in on the project, some people don't fully understand what's going on with the project, and Google kind of being, somebody that is as centralized for the buying and selling of information and the controlling the flow of information through Google, the search engine, and Google, the transhumanist future philosophy technology sector, and Google, YouTube. Quite the centralized controlling portal to the internet, being the ones that make transparency something that we can enjoy. That's just funny. So you can see the consistency in the topic, just talking about honesty and transparency, which is supposed to be one of the big things that we care the most about with cryptocurrency. So Bitcoin SV, it's just not right. Bitcoin Cash SV has been met with a host of varied opinions from the global cryptocurrency since it emerged 3 months ago, from being lauded as the true vision of Satoshi to being called a dumpster fire. One of the BTC developers called it a scam and listed some specific reasons. This was in a referencing the Twitter trolls who tout that Bitcoin SV is the more principled coin who wants to achieve the true vision of the founder Bitcoin, Satoshi Nakamoto. Song lays all these claims to bed, citing his 3 reasons, which come under the overarching theme of it's clearly a scam. So his opinion on Craig Wright, this is very interesting. The November hard fork, which eventually resulted in BSV splitting from Bitcoin Cash, Wright came out in fierce support of what he envisioned as the vision of Satoshi. He even claimed that he is the real Satoshi, a rallying cry that he touts even today. I've heard that he walked that back, but I kind of never thought he was actually saying that he was a real Satoshi, so people are a little weird on that. But Song's opinion on Wright, however, is unwavering. He, meaning Craig Wright, a known scammer, he's even produced a signature as Satoshi. He's claimed to be Satoshi from the very beginning. He hasn't produced anything of note. He hasn't coded anything. He says ridiculous stuff. He uses only, well, I mean, it's kind of like Steve Jobs. I mean, you know, Steve Jobs knew the importance of beauty and elegance and fonts and marketing and being able to sell a bridge to flat land. I mean, he was amazing in all those things, but he doesn't do any code. There's not a single thing that he could have done with an Apple computer if it wasn't for Wise. But anyway, so he hasn't coded anything. He says ridiculous stuff. He uses only social signaling. He doesn't provide any proof of anything. And the guy has been a con artist for a very long time. Wow, that's libel if he hasn't actually done those things. Craig S. Wright recently went on a tirade about how he was Satoshi, for which he received a lot of flack from the crypto industry, known for being very verbal on Twitter. Wright even got into a heated dispute with WikiLeaks, which he brands as a fake news cesspool. Well, I mean, okay. Yeah. WikiLeaks did not take things lying down, the news organization claimed, and even produced evidence of Wright editing a blog post from August 2008. I edit blog posts all the time, but I also don't lie on them. So, which he wanted to use to prove that he was involved in cryptocurrencies over a decade ago, along with Al Gore and CERN. Just kidding. WikiLeaks and many in the crypto community labeled Wright as fake Toshi, since a label that Song would approve of. Song cites the lack of development coming from the Bitcoin SV camp as a secondary reason. You can look at their GitHub. They've done nothing over the past 2 months. They are not really trying to fix anything. They apparently have some sort of private development. They do not accept any pull requests. They are not into open source. Now, I mean, if you're trying to protect somebody's vision and you don't trust those around you, I'm not sure that that's necessarily scammy to keep your production and your development private. Sometimes you want to go open source with things that you know are going to take things in the right direction, not necessarily have people's input or eyes on what you're doing in the process. So I'm not certain that that's fair. They do not accept any pull requests. They're not into open source. It's anything but a secure protocol. At some point, I expect them to release a full node software of something like that is straight up malware. Huh, wow, that's a huge accusation. They don't do any open source. They are not doing any development. They are not progressing. Craig Wright is the spearhead in the BSB application process, whom Song refers to in this jibe as a con artist. The in-chain executive has formulated ideas of applying the Bitcoin SV blockchain into the realm of online peer-to-peer payments and to use the BSB wallet as a smart card authenticator which can be used to verify passports. The third reason for Song's disavowing Bitcoin SV is the attitude emanating from the BSB camp, particularly from the major proponents Craig S. Wright and Calvin Ayre. He described their behavior as peculiar and referenced the fight for control during the hard fork, which he called a crap fest with Bitcoin ABC. Okay, these are both really okay. Bitcoin Cash SV, Bitcoin Cash ABC, BCH SV, BCH ABC. This won the position of Bitcoin Cash. It was an actual competition between the two. There's some misfiring going on here, Jimmy. You're kind of skewed there too. I'm not defending any side, but I am gonna, look at this for truth, and you're skewing things. So it comes from both sides. The fact that they continue to fight and use their money to try to prop up this useless coin, it should tell you volumes about what they're trying to do. They want to control their own money, and they have enough of an ego to think that people will just follow them if they go. Okay, well, I mean, all of this from both camps has been bad for, actually helping to prop up the original Bitcoin, which is the one that needs to succeed as 52% plus market. Without Bitcoin, everybody's projects are going to fail. So you guys have broke it in half. So fix it. Yes, sir. Bitcoin Cash, BCH, which is what those other two are supposed to be calling themselves. Price analysis. Bulls and bears fight it out as token trades sideways. So you now are looking at the market result of what both of them are responsible for. Bitcoin Cash, which is ABC, has made meager gains as the collective market added 1 billion on 16th February. The top 10 is colored in stripes of red and green, with the 3 coins capping off the top 10: Tron, XLM, BNB, good for you guys, etc. Bitcoin Cash's value against the USD is up by a small margin, and it's covering Litecoin, EOS, and others, showing some of the analytics. The 1 hour chart for Bitcoin Cash shows the coin is trading sideways. Bitcoin Cash has been pushed down courtesy of 2 successive downtrends, the first extending from 125 to 119, and the second from 124 to 121. The Bollinger Bands indicate that the volatility of the coin is on a decline, while the moving average line indicates an imminent switch from the bears to the bulls. I don't agree, but that's okay. The Fisher transform line shows that the coin switched from the bears to the bulls at the 2300 UTC on February 15th, following the Fisher line's overtake of the trigger line. Okay, so just wanted you to see, I mean, this is, not in the center of this chain of thought. Bitcoin Cash has been in a recent tug of war with the short-term bulls trying to push the coin up as the current market swings upwards while the hard fork bears are still pulling the coin down. In the short term, since the market surged a week ago, BCH has been trading sideways, with Bollinger Bands pointing to a volatility drop. However, in the long term, the coin has stabilized since the bears of January pulled the price down under $110, as indicated by the parabolic SAR's mild bullish signs and the minimal increase in investor interest. Yep, that it's on Coinbase, or is going to be. Oops. Okay. Hacker Noon. Brilliant people may not agree on everything, but definitely worth hearing their voice. So you can see the topic and why I'm including it. This is a. Oh, look at that. They actually put how long it takes to read this. Okay, interesting. It's easy to keep ethics away from a topic that is hard to understand. Beyond crypto, blockchain ethics. So, shocked to learn that the inventors of Bitcoin are anonymous. Well, I mean, we're in the spirit of things. So are I am we. But you will know us by our fruits. Amen. Was a hidden identity meant to act as a metaphor? Uh-huh. I don't have an answer, but I don't think blockchain ethics has been discussed enough for us to know yet. Well, I think that it's way too deep in it not to. We must be discussing the ethics of blockchain and what the goal for the future of blockchain will be. Honestly, I think that no one is talking about this because blockchain is such a complex topic that most people struggle to even understand how it works. BitTorrent with ledgers. Next. A few months ago, I too had an idea of what crypto, blockchain, and Bitcoin even were. This is why I wanted to try to make them some crazy technology. What is it? Who is this? Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Written under the alias Satoshi Nakamoto in 2008. Wow. I mean, just think of what has happened over the past 11 years it's going on. With nearly 15% of the world's financial institutions using blockchain, it is clear that the technology is quickly materializing into society. So, as its roots, blockchain is an entirely decentralized, non-governed transactional system that is highly centralized from programmers and developers. He didn't say that part, I added that in. It is run through many nodes that altogether result in a blockchain network. Each network contains a ledger. The ledger acts as the source of truth, storing all the transactions that have ever happened on the network. Okay, so let's get to the point about, without a central governing entity over a network, every transaction needs to be verified by the majority of the nodes. So here's the good. The most obvious benefit is that it offers greater ease and autonomy. Getting money to other people, countries, privacy, saves a lot of money on wires and all sorts of good stuff. Unregulated form of currency could actually prove to be quite beneficial for the economy. I agree. Blockchain is already being used for decentralized cloud storage, which is pretty cool. It's still a little slow and confusing, but it'll get there. The internet could become a blockchain net. It will become a blockchain net, I guarantee you. These have been discussions about blockchain. At this point, it's clear that cryptocurrency and really all blockchain has the potential to place power over the digital world into the hands of the common person, the common developer and the people that buy the right CPUs to harness the power of the mining process and run their own nodes and all that stuff. Place power over the digital world in the hands of the common person and away from oppressive corporations or governments. Except for, Craig Wright and Roger Ver and Bitcoin Cash ABC versus SV versus the original team that used to be the team that's not the team in BTC versus Ethereum rolling out 2.0 versus Ethereum Classic and the protection of ERC20 tokens, which the majority of all the other alts are. What could go wrong? The not so good, 51% attacks and double spending. Okay, these are problems that we won't go fully into the technical issues there. But these are technical problems that they have to find resolutions for, not allowing people to hack or cheat the technical process and get fake money out of things and cause all sorts of ledger problems. When it's spent twice, etc., etc. Last year, 51% attack on Zencash cost $550,000 to be double spent. An attack on Bitcoin Gold lost $18 million. Actually, 2008 was one of the worst blockchain attack years in history. And yet here we are. We're 1/5 of what we were, but we're here, and we're going to build this back up. We're going to do this thing, baby. But blockchain breeds credibility. I agree. Provided the answer to digital trust because it records important information in a public space and doesn't allow anyone to remove it. It's transparent, time-stamped, and decentralized. Yep. An ungoverned system breeds misuse. Okay, that's where I disagree, because centralized trading is up to somebody like the website, like, let's say, ZZ on Binance. And as long as Binance handles things with authority and honesty, responds quickly and decisively, and does not harm the average trader, then your money is in a good place. And that's the kind of thing, is just like, are you going to use the mattress or a bank, where you're going to hide things? Well, people will probably spread it around. But ethical concerns, first of all, you have your own personal responsibility. Second of all, decentralized is more dangerous in your own hands than it is centralized with somebody that is really serious about security and could do a much better job than yourself. Since every transaction in a network is anonymous, not governed by anyone, blockchain has become infamous for aiding in money laundering, selling of weapons and drugs, traditionally black market aided transactions. Okay, so which means that they're thinking of adding in, like basically transactional fingerprints inside smart contracts and all sorts of different stuff. You can regulate it without using governments to regulate it. I would much rather this be an issue of human nature than to be an issue of governments trying to legislate human nature, which can't be done. What should we do? At this point in time, blockchain has the potential to go in two very opposing directions. The subjective credibility of networks could lead to an ethical, decentralized, and trustworthy platform, or it could be really bad. Immutable nature of networks and lack of governability could lead to rampant misuse and systematic vulnerability. It's going to be both. It's going to be hiccups with a much better solution. Best solutions to problems come from communities of educated people. Amen. But there's not a lot of them. Have you seen Twitter lately? Who left out of the conversation? So be in part of the conversation. That's the bottom line that I think they're going for. Really, really, really smart guys. Here's the guy. Not going to go into this, but if you want to know basically everything there is to know about economics, this crazy bad dude right here. I'm not going to say anything more. Okay, I'm leaving. Okay, the Daily Hodl. Wall Street pours $237 million into crypto. Forbes says Bitcoin whales are gearing up for a bull run. Okay, be my Valentine. That's what I want to hear. Except I just want it to come from something else. And this was also important, so I'm going to open that one up. Crypto investment firm Grayscale says it raised $359 million in 2018. The company manages several cryptocurrency investment trusts covering Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Bitcoin Cash. Which one? ABC. Ethereum Classic, Litecoin, Stellar, Zcash, and Horizon. It now has $793 million in assets under management. Yeah, but it's not anything like, Wall Street or stock market. Everything is crashing. In fact, I hear my scanner just saying falling. But the firm didn't escape the crypto bear market unscathed. The company says the last 3 months of 2018 were below average. It raised a total of $30 million in the fourth quarter, behind 2017's record pace for the same quarter. Okay, so that was the main point there. But if they're get back up to okay, these articles said Grayscale and other institutions betting on crypto, Fidelity, Intercontinental Exchange, Square, show big Bitcoin supporters are quietly gearing up for the next bull run. Yeah, well, obviously. So there'll be major players, and we'll see how that works with, the whole idea of it being decentralized. Well, if everything you're running away from is coming here, then we need to stand firm on the parts of the regulation and deregulation that we do and don't want. That's just how that works. Okay, so a few things are popping upwards. That's good. NASDAQ to add new Bitcoin, BTC, and Ethereum indices. Can't decide which one sounds right. So NASDAQ made another step in bringing Bitcoin to Wall Street by offering 2 new indices tied to the crypto market on its existing platform of indexes. Bitcoin Liquid Index, BLX, and Ethereum Liquid Index, ILGs, are created by Brave New Coin and will provide a real-time spot or reference rate for the price of 1 BTC and 1 ETH, respectively, quoted in USD and based on the most liquid ends of their markets. BLX, ELX work by capturing data from multiple exchanges to provide a single price point for BTC and ETH, which helps traders get in and out of a given position. BLX, ELX will now be joining 40,000 of NASDAQ's indices, including NASDAQ 100 and NASDAQ Composite, through their GIDS data feed. The GIDS, or Global Index Data Service, is NASDAQ's premier real-time data feed that consolidates all NASDAQ indexes and ETF valuation data, as well as third-party partner data. So basically, they're going to average together whatever the current price is from all the different markets. Binance, Bitfinex, Bitrex, all the different places, Yobit, etc. Not Robinhood, because they're already doing that. They get really interesting numbers for their Bitcoin. Strange ones, actually. So they're going to average that together, or find a median or a mean for those and provide that as part of the index. Therefore, people can figure out what they want to get in and out of on positions. Pretty cool. Or is it? I don't know. All right. Crypto VC giant calls mass exodus from gold to Bitcoin, plus Ripple and XRP, Ethereum, Stellar, Tron, IOTA. Crypto news alert. So Bitcoin, CEO of Crypto Venture Capital, DCG, say that Bitcoin's always proved it's going to win the race against gold. Bottom line. Ethereum, that's really actually the only reason that I was reading that. Well, I'll go ahead through here. Creating tokens. Looking for a product marketing manager. Yeah, so I mean, I was just here for the Bitcoin thing. Pretty cool. The Daily Huddle once again. Is this about the Malta Blockchain Summit? Or did I decide to leave that out? Wirex integrates Nano, providing seamless spending anywhere Visa is accepted. Nope, totally different. This was going back to, I guess, the beginning of the week. Following the addition of the Wirex platform, Nano is now positioned at the cutting edge of the push towards cryptocurrency adoption. Its integration with the UK-based digital money platform allows the coin to be seamlessly spent across 40 million plus outlets around the world. I think that's what they're saying. Through the Wirex Visa card, creating the fastest decentralized bridge between crypto and real-world spending. Wow, eh? Integration represents milestone, bringing Nano into everyday use, providing people with a simple method of bullying. Buying, selling, exchanging, spending. Nano is a strong step forward in our mission to establish Nano as the leading peer-to-peer digital currency. Wow. Big moves, Nano. So I would like my Nano to go up to 5,000 or 6,000 compared to the 2,300 it's been stalling out at. Do something about that, and I will start using it with Visa. Nano is a sustainable digital currency with ultra-fast transactions and zero fees over a secure, decentralized network. The Nano protocol was developed to be accessible and lightweight, with a focus on removing inefficiencies present in existing cryptocurrencies, making it ideal for everyday transactions. Very, very cool. The Nano Foundation is a nonprofit organization with the purpose of developing and maintaining the Nano protocol while supporting the Nano ecosystem. About Wirex, it's a UK-based FCA-regulated company which provides its users an alternative to conventional financial institutions by connecting traditional and new digital ecosystems on one borderless payment platform. Kind of sounds like what XRP's push is for their stuff. So guys, that is it for now for Crypto in the News with Archangel Alts. And I just want to kind of bring those things together where we look towards the next step in crypto, thinking about honesty, integrity, the actual implementation of the process, making it have real world use, while remembering that we don't want to make crypto the ever looming answer for centralized mistakes, because that's how it becomes even more centralized than the last problem. Kind of like the Who said, meet the new boss, same as the old boss. Unfortunately, the boss that we all struggle with is human nature and the ethics that lies in everybody having their own interpretation of moral behavior. So as we all enter into smart contracts with one another and enter into smart trades with one another, we're going to be transitioning over to live trading live without a net on the Binance Exchange. Thank you for checking out the Crypto in the News. Thank you for the sources. You're all going to be listed in the description of the video, and I would love to speak to anybody about doing interviews or just filling out information so we can cover you independently as your own stories. Thank you so much, and this is Archangel Alts out.